announcing this new law that the administration is putting into effect. Businesses are going to have to pay people overtime. Previously salaried employees that were making $47,000 a year, they are now eligible for overtime. And we were just talking about this earlier in the show with Douglas Holtz-Eakin and Steve Cortez, who are very concerned about the effect that this is going to have on business owners. I'm still here with Louise Mensch, and we're going to talk about that whole gender fluidness in a moment. But first, your thoughts on what they're doing right now, the administration, with this new rule on overtime pay.
Well, first of all, this is another anti-business rule that the administration is trying to get in. It's a lame duck. It's trying to bypass Congress and use that executive power as much as they can before their time runs out. But I find it really interesting that it's Joe Biden in the swing state of Ohio that is making this announcement. Is this about overtime, or is this, in fact, about, hey, guys, if Hillary melts down and gets indicted, I'm here, I'm ready to step in for the Democratic nomination?
Yes, because Joe Biden might be their only alternative. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna affect business owners quite severely, and it's amazing when you think of something so big as this and people not being able to have a voice in it. There were over 200,000 comments on this, but you know, lawmakers weren't able to have a voice in this. So it's another example of this administration just, you know, setting the law.
It's like they're ripping up the Constitution. With that executive order pen, he is ripping up the Constitution. He thinks he can make the law, and the Vice President can make the law.
Okay, back to the story that we started with. Gender fluidity. It's no longer he or she, it's Z in New York City.
Well, what really? Is that D for crazy? Because we were joking about just now about the anti-business stance. This is being mirrored in New York City because you know how much businesses can be fined if they don't use these made-up words and pronouns? $250,000.
Oh my gosh.
And that is just for starters. Imagine if you're a small business and you don't know that somebody is gender fluid. I mean, it's nuts. These aren't even words in English. And by the way, is this even constitutional? Can you mandate what somebody says? You have to use my invented language. And for the benefit of whom? Do transgender people even want this? I mean, they're crossing from one gender to another.
Yeah,
please.
They've made up their mind. They're not in that no man's land.
They're on some kind of
You
journey.
can read the story on Louise's site. It's kind of like Pat, right, from SNL.
It is